guys, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here for our second Patreon one-shot of the day. This time we are playing Tales from the Loop, headed by our very own community manager, G. This is your first time running Tales on the stream.
It is.
Okay,
All together. I've never run a Tales.
This
game
is your
before.
first time running Tales. This is, I believe, your third stream you've GM'd for.
I don't count the second one, but technically yes.
The one where you killed us, you mean? You fucking
No,
monster?
that's the best one. Though
Wow.
I have been reminded that the kids cannot die in Tales from the Loop.
Yeah, I wonder why.
So,
Because you kill
yeah.
us with an asteroid. As always, if you guys like what you see here and you want to support the community, Patreon is the best way to do that. Link for that down below. While you're down there, join us over on Discord. Be a part of the community. Be a part of the conversation. And as always, in the bottom right-hand corner, you will see the corruption bar. That bar serves two purposes. One is when that bar fills, G gets to do what the hell she wants to our children, except hit us with an asteroid. And two, every single dollar that goes into that goes back to this community so we can hire my replacement. Or gnome, or both, or that could be the same thing. Two birds, one stone.
or two birds, one gnome.
One gnome, exactly.
Ooh.
And without further ado, G, take us to the state of Canada.
Well, hi everybody. Just to clarify, I didn't actually read the book, but I think that's the MO for unMadeGaming.
Yes.
So yeah, not a big deal.
I didn't read this book is my motto.
Yeah. I don't know what I do. All right, so yeah, we're just gonna jump right in to a little town called Prescott. State/province, unknown. It is middle North America. And the camera comes in to a sleepy, idyllic, touristy town. It's very clean, open air markets. All the stores are newly renovated. And there's cute little pop-up shops everywhere. The camera flows through the crowds and you see a kind of a monstrosity of a house out on the outskirts of town, like a really large mansion made out of marble. We fly past that and we see a couple women coming out of a hair salon and they're gawking and fawning over each other. And the camera kind of slows down as it passes a coffee shop. Two men are seen coming out of this shop, and it's early in the morning. They are having a heated discussion about something that we can't hear. One gestures erratically, and his coffee splashes onto his work shirt. The other man points his finger in an accusing manner. This invigorates their argument. They step into a sky blue panel van. The words "Department of Research and Technology, Building a Better World" written on the side. They climb into the back and shut the doors. The Dart van pulls away. Dominating the skyline on the north end of the town of Prescott are the three gargantuan cooling towers of the Loop. And as this van speeds off, we open up with one of my favorite things in movies are montages for the main characters. Would anyone like to go first and describe their character? Or will I volunteer someone?
No, I'll go first.
Okay.
David Summers is a 14-year-old boy. He lives with his mum and his cousin. His mum works in a hairdressing salon in town, and they live in a 3-bedroom apartment above it. He is a bit of a loner. You see him kind of drying off the dishes. Then he throws the dish towel away, grabs his skateboard, and goes into his bedroom and jumps out the window. The window goes into an alleyway behind the hairdressing salon, and it's got a small porch which he kind of leaps onto before he leaps onto the ground. He puts his skateboard on its end on the ground and flicks his wrist so it starts to spin, and it eventually continues to spin before it just lands and starts to roll. And that's the direction he's going in this morning. So he hops onto the skateboard and it just seems to head into Main Street. And as he crosses the road, A blue panel van races past behind him.
Perfect. Who's next?
We see the camera sort of follow down Main Street, and you see on the side of the building it says Prescott Police Department, and the camera kind of goes in there, and you see an older woman. She has to be in her mid-70s. She looks like if you took an owl and personified it. That's what it looks like. She is 4'2". She has these huge glasses on with this big long chain that kind of hoops up around her neck that is all covered in like weird beads. She has a cane, but you can't tell if it's for show because it's definitely bedazzled in all kinds of witchy woo-woo stones that seem to be super glued piecemeal to this thing, and she doesn't really lean on it, and you can see like as there is a no audio track as she is like rapping on the desk with it, and she is gesticulating towards one of the officers and like pointing with it towards one of the rooms. And you see this officer, exasperated by this old woman, open the door and slide a key into the drunk tank, essentially, and ring it open, where you see a 14-year-old young man who is covered in some kind of muck, as if he's been crawling through a drain pipe. And he is sort of grabbed by the collar and tossed out towards the old woman, who beams at him and sort of like pats him on his head. A notebook is handed back to him, and a set of lockpicks is confiscated. And then you see the police officer like jump up in the air as a rat sort of runs out from the cell as well, and scurries up the kid's leg as he is led to a to like a 1930s Oldsmobile that it like backfires as it like starts up, and just putters down the road towards the less wealthy side of town, and it passes that same panel van.
Nice. All right. 2 more.
Soon the camera pans away from the police station, up the road a little further and out towards the housings in the suburbs. And there it settles on a small little quaint little house. And out front, opening up the door, kicking open his scooter, you see a young kid with a soft complexion, wearing his usual casual attire, looking up to the sky as he tracks something. The camera pans up, and up there is a plane just streaking along the sky. And audible to him, but nobody else, he can hear the props whirling and the wind rushing past him as he's lost in his own mind. Scooter, and he starts going up the road, following that same path of this airplane. That destination he doesn't know where it came from, and he has no idea where it's going.
Love it. Last but definitely not the least.
Yeah, as always. So the camera sort of pans outside of the town, this great big carbuncle of a house. It's not just a mansion; it's a whole estate of various sundry little buildings.
Monstrosity.
It's all imported Italian marble, Roman columns, and it overlooks the town as if it owns the place. We cut to a car house as Notorious by Duran Duran starts playing, and there's a kid in a rusty truck that looks more like a lawn ornament than a Chevrolet El Camino as he's driving it, pretending to drive it in a manner similar to the Blues Brothers movie that he's in Hot Pursuit. We cut, and there's a stretch blacked out Rolls-Royce limousine that rolls up the driveway and through the electric gates as a short blonde woman, immaculately dressed, gets out of the car, and she's like, "Hey kid, I told you I'd be back to help you fix the Camino." And Visibly, he drops the idea of his game, and he's visibly elated to see his mother.
Very nice. Very nice. All right, back to my notes. All right, so that's pretty much how your mornings start. And it's a few hours later. You're all hunkered down and gathered in your hideout. It's hot. It's early July. Clear blue skies. Oh, it's the 6th of July. Aha. Your summer holidays have just begun. Your possibilities are endless. What are you guys doing as you sit here in your hideout? What is your hideout? Did anyone put some thought into that, like I suggested?
I wanted 221B Baker Street.
But we're not in London.
There are many Baker Streets.
That's true. That's true.
That's where Freddie actually lives in his pool house. So yeah.
You know, G, what's some aesthetic in Prescott here?
It's like country chic.
Country chic. Okay.
Could we be held up in the horse barn or something like that?
Are there hurricanes in this country?
No hurricanes. No, we're in
No,
central
okay.
North America.
So
What
tornadoes.
about like an
Tornado.
idyllic,
Tornado alley.
like one of those old idyllic windmills just out there?
Yeah.
It's just kind of like no one really goes to it, but it's like still turning.
Yeah, the loop has brought a lot of money to this area. So hence all the newly renovated restaurants and shops and stuff like that. There's no super mall or anything like that. Everything is being kept quaint.
Okay.
They want to be, they're on the running for the most beautiful village in the country award.
Yeah, it's their equivalent of Britain in Bloom.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's flowers hanging, like flower pots hanging from all the lights and stuff like that. And
I kind of dig the windmill idea.
yeah.
It's kind of a cool idea.
I've no idea what they look like in North America. In the UK, they're often, wooden
Think
bricks.
about that.
The
big
same thing, like
brick
a
and mortar and stone
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of big classical windmill.
like a Netherlands windmill.
Yeah.
Like an actual mill powered by wind as opposed to electricity.
Not a wind turbine.
Yeah, not a wind turbine. Yeah, so I think we're in our hideout. And Poe is the young boy covered in muck. He's no longer covered in muck. He has one corner of this circular building with corners. He has one corner that is like just full of notes of like various different kinds of notepad, like yellow legal pad, other notepad, like little white ones, a composition notebook torn out, a sticky note, thumbtacked to it. And he is adding more and sketching doodles on them. And anyone that looked or read upon them would think this is some kind of storyboard for the next sci-fi fantasy novel he's working on. Instead, it is all the conspiracies about the loop that he believes to be 100% true, including mind control, time travel, space raptors, ghosts, an actual witch. If you've made up a story about the loop, he probably believes it.
Love that. I love that for this story.
Mm-hmm.
What about David? What does his corner of the hideout look like?
David's corner's pretty sparse. The only thing of note is a large, thick rope that hangs from the roof that he just swings on continuously back and forth. If anyone comes too close, he pushes towards them and pushes out the way. He's basically monkeying around. He looks over at Poe's board and he says, I heard someone say that the loop creates portals between dimensions. Have you got that on the board?
Yeah, no. So Craig from down the street. So Craig's sister. So Craig's sister had a babysitter like 4 or 5 years ago. I think her name was like Tiffany or Tammany or Tiff. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. But she had a boyfriend. And her boyfriend's cousin. He had a friend named George, and George said that there were portals in there, and he had heard that from his uncle, who I think works there.
That Butts guy is full of crap. I wouldn't listen to him.
No, what happened is his uncle doesn't work there anymore because
I don't recall a girl
What's
in
a
our town named
Nintendo?
Tiffany. Are you referring to Tracy?
It could be Tracy. It could have been her. Yeah.
I remember George. He had a goatee. He was
Yeah.
definitely from another dimension.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Well,
Like
I
that
don't.
Star Trek episode.
I've never seen
Which
that.
one?
Never seen that show.
Dude, I've got it on VHS at my house. Like, you're welcome.
No,
You're just too busy with the Twilight Zone, aren't you?
So what happens is my gran says that if you watch too many VHS tapes or too much TV, that it can literally rot your brain. Like I know your parents say that it can rot your brain because you're watching it in your brain, but like it's like I think it's the tubes inside the TV that actually produce cancer.
My brain is fine. You know,
I think it takes time. It's like it takes time. It's like if you use your microwave and you put your face too close to it, eventually you'll get a tumor.
I heard this.
And this is the
room
perfect
in the
moment
loop.
for the camera to pan over to Reno's corner as he's sitting there with all these electronic and
microwave.
computer parts and like aircraft engine parts and all this random stuff that he's managed to get with the goal he's going to build his own airplane. He's got like models hanging around the place, and in his hand with a little spanner, and the other hand he's got a vacuum tube he pulled out of a TV.
Nice.
It's like, I don't think this thing causes cancer, Edgar.
Yeah. So
I'd listen to Reno, dude.
So what happens is it disperses microwave waves into the screen, and the screen dissipates that out into the air, and it's like open air electricity, and so you're just constantly absorbing it in your brain.
No, Reno. I heard there's a room in the loop where it's just a wall of TVs, and the people there watch you through your TV.
Yeah.
We're gonna get a
Well,
damn
I've
good
taken
view of
apart
my
a few
house.
TVs already. I haven't found any small cameras, so
Have you found the microwave particle beams?
you talking about this thing?
Yes.
The thing this supposedly generates?
Yes, generates
That's
microwave
too.
particle
That's
beams.
a ray
small-
tube is what it is.
You can't even see that with your naked eye.
Right, but
Edgar.
your brain can still absorb it. That's the problem. You can't see oxygen with your naked eye, but that, slowly burns you alive as you consume it. So, anyway,
Reno just kind of puts on his glasses and is like, you know what? Whatever. I don't believe you, but whatever at this point.
get lead gloves and a suit.
As you guys
As
are
he
sitting there,
reaches and turns down his boombox. His corner is a replica of 221B Baker Street. There's a fireplace built into the side of the windmill, and 2 chairs and a couple of bookshelves and some busts, a phrenology head, and various other Sherlock Holmesian crap. A violin he can't play. An autographed photo of Jeremy Brett in frame in pride of place. And he turns off his boombox. He was probably listening to Bad Streets by Missing Persons. Ugh, we need a case so we can focus on something. What's going on? We've got all summer. We can bring the loop to justice.
I have this whole wall.
Yes, but you see, but you do not observe, as Conan Doyle might put it.
I don't know what that means, but there's
As
disappearance.
you-
Reaches into his pocket and pulls out the pipe that he swiped from Freddy's corner and puts it in his mouth and says, "What do you suggest?"
Well, we've got to get out on the street, assemble some irregulars, find some get some information, some leads.
well, typically, if you're looking for shady things happening in town, you got to go to where things are happening. And it just so happens that there's a coffee table in the middle of the room where you guys have spread a whole bunch of stuff that you've been researching about upcoming stuff that's going on. And one of them is you see a map of the Red River, which is a north flowing river that goes through the middle of the town. Drawing on it is what looks like a schematic or a sketch of a bike ramp that's going off the bank and into the river. And along there's a huge tree with a rope swing. And you guys know that this is the swimming hole on the north end of the city. It's on the property of a farmer named Jerry Torek. He's a jolly war vet, a widower, and he helped the kids in the town set up this ramp. And he loves having the kids around. Everyone loves him. You all call him Uncle Junkle. And this is you guys have been planning this for the last month. This is going to be the premier hangout spot of the city. The adults don't go there. It's away from the prying eyes and the politics of your parents. You guys make the rules here. And also, there is coupons scattered all over the place. And actually, Mike changed the name of my arcade. Dream Machine Arcade is having its July Madness starting this week. You guys have collected several coupons from your mom's show and save books. You got buy one, get one, 2-topping pizzas, free pitchers of pop, double tokens, you name it. You guys are set up to have a fucking awesome time at the arcade. And today, starting, so it's Saturday, the local Prescott Community College Science and Technology Department is hosting a special event called Robot Wars. Participants have built their own robots and will compete in a battle royale. Winner gets a cash prize and, of course, bragging rights. I don't know if any of you have built a robot to participate, but it's planning to be a good show, you think?
So, Freddie, one of my contacts, he like side eyes Freddie's area. His name is Ronnie, and Ronnie works down at the Dream Machine Arcade, and he has some heard some rumors about certain things about the loop. So maybe we go to the arcade and get a pizza and talk to Ronnie about his contacts, and then maybe there's a clue in there, and then we can investigate the loop, bring it to justice.
2 birds, 1 stone. I'll go down. How far away is a phone booth from the windmill?
Why don't we just take our bikes?
Because I have a limo.
Oh. Okay.
But
Why
can't
would
they track a limo?
huh?
That's
Can't
true.
they track a limo?
Yeah, if the loop's onto us, you're the only kid in town with a limo, so it's much harder to track bikes. They don't have a database of tire treads for bikes. They only have a database for cars and
I'll
trucks.
see you there, and I'll try and beat my high score on Elvira Pinball. Well, you guys pedal across town.
Okay, sure. Can you get pizza though?
Yeah.
Great. Here's coupons.
But hold up, is this New York or Chicago style pizza? This could be a problem.
It's normal
Prescott pizza.
style.
Deep dish pizza isn't pizza. It's
Indeed.
a pie.
My friend from Jersey gets it.
Here's the coupons. And he just slides them all across the table.
They'll sort of go into Freddie's wallet. It's probably a very beat up brown leather wallet. Like everything he owns is kind of beat up, even though all of the things his parents own are like white or designer label and immaculate.
Let me get on the bike.
Your mom doesn't have a show and save book.
No, my mom has money.
Oh wow, okay.
That is the most white privilege thing that's I think it's been said in a Tales from the Loop
Wow.
game. No, I don't have a coupon book. My parents have money.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
God.
they probably own the grocery store,
Jesus.
or at least an interest in it, you know. Or they collect large brown envelopes from the grocery store every month. Something
Yeah,
like
Freddy's the rich kid of the group.
Of the town.
that. Could you not tell from the Italian marble house and the Rolls Royce limo?
Right.
And the,
But yeah,
and the
if
fact
he's
that he's
gonna
had
go-
a replica fireplace built in his corner.
Yeah.
He had a construction crew come to the broken down old windmill and only just built up a fucking fireplace.
They shored it up at the same time, but didn't make a big deal out of it, so you guys didn't feel
Yeah,
like he
his
was
family
wasting
actually
money
owns
on
this windmill that we're hanging out.
you. Yes.
Yep, that's what it is. Oh, God.
Okay, so what are you guys doing?
Headed to the
Going
arcade.
to the arcade. Yeah.
Okay. And
Freddy's
you're
going to
all-
go to the phone box.
Reno
and
points
call.
at the Robot Wars thing. Is like, weren't we planning on entering that?
I don't have. I'm not allowed to have robots.
Did you build something for it?
Well, mine isn't finished yet. And he's like he points at the corner, and there's like a little half-finished robot with what looks like a razor sharp propeller designed to spin rapidly.
My what had happened was that she says that even though we have actual robots, that the 3 rules of robotics from Isaac Asimov was a fiction book and it's not real, and also they're counterintuitive to each other, so you actually couldn't program a robot to do those things. So eventually the robots will rise up and take over the world, which makes total sense if you think about it, because people are pretty lazy and robots are pretty smart, and we just keep making them smarter and smarter, and eventually someone will make an assassin robot, because why wouldn't they?
Yeah, right. They are never going to have a robot that can deduce like the human mind.
Well, not in this universe, but maybe from another.
Right, see, and if the
Wouldn't
loop...
be so sure.
Cylons?
I don't know what that is either.
Oh, you really need to watch some more TV.
We
You
don't-
really love Battlestar Galactica.
We don't have a TV in the house. We have a radio.
Like, you're welcome to come round and watch TV. I've got like 2 in the pool house.
It's one of those radios that goes like this, and it has the one knob on it, and it only
Yeah, my
has...
grandparents have one.
Yeah, it only has AM, and we listen to stories on it.
Does it pick up different times, like different time periods? Because I'm pretty sure radios selling stories stopped in the 50s.
So it has a tape player. So it could be...
Reno
just be
looks at
tapes.
his watch. Well, while you all go do that and talk about this, I'm gonna go use the outhouse.
Are you an outhouse?
Freddy
man,
put it in a
I'm-
while back.
Yeah, it's an outhouse with indoor plumbing.
Nice.
Brings the indoors outdoors. It's a thing. I don't know.
rustic chic.
Rustic chic.
I don't know.
Prescott.
It was an architectural phase. My parents were really into it like 6 months back.
It brings the indoors outdoors. Okay. Oh,
All right, so you guys are heading to the arcade
yes.
on your bikes, or whatever your like was it a scooter
Yeah.
and a
A
skateboard?
skateboard. I
Yeah,
think
I'm going to be there like
David-
half an hour early.
David would use the skateboard up to the limo and then just get in the limo.
Nice.
So are you all taking the limo?
Poe is against it, but he will eventually get in. He's not going to be the only person that rides a bike there.
Reno?
Reno sits on a little, opens the sunroof, and he's just sitting on the roof like one of those Mardi Gras girls, just kind of feeling the wind.
Yeah, so it takes you have to walk a couple blocks to get to a payphone because the
Yeah.
windmill is not in the middle of town; it is more on the sides. So you have to walk a couple blocks, get to the payphone, and you call and dial up your butler.
I'll dial up a car phone.
Yeah, Wadsworth. Yep, and young Master Freddy.
Hey, Ray. We are on whichever street it is. 8th and Center. Can you pick us up and take us to the arcade?
I will be there shortly, young Master Freddy.
Thank you.
And he clicks off. And then 3 minutes later, you see this black, shiny Rolls Royce limousine rolling up. And it's comes to a stop right in front of you guys.
So you should,
Have you got the bike rack to the limo yet?
Oh, yeah. Freddy just goes to the boot and sort of the bike rack, he opens it and the bike rack flops out over the registration plate, covering which state it is.
You sure it's not bugged, right? It's not they can't-
Conveniently.
They're not going to be able to track us.
You've met my dad, Poe. My dad has people sweep for bugs every week.
Okay.
once on Monday, once on Friday. You know what he's like. He's worried about the corporate espionage.
Right. Okay. Great. Great. And he like straps his bike on.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the only bike. Everyone else has got small things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I assume that Freddie probably skateboarded down the hill and on some sort of new sort of Santa Cruz fancy deck.
Okay, so you guys get in. I don't know what the interior looks like. I'm assuming it's
It is
plush
all,
leather.
Yeah, there's a little TV built into one side, a phone, a CD player, and it's all sort of opulent white leather and shag pile carpeting in there, with sort of two seats facing each other.
All right, so you guys are in the limo, and Wadsworth leans back, his arm over the seat. Where to, sir?
The arcade?
Ah, yes. And he slowly turns around. You might hear his bones creaking as he does. And he eases off the brake, and you guys start accelerating back into the city proper. As you're going down Main Street and turning down side streets, he's like, oh, to the arcade. Oh, right. So he goes and he actually turns down a back alley that it goes in between like residential houses.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, this is a shortcut, young master. And as he's going, you guys hear through like the car windows, and especially because Reno, you're up through the not the skylight, but sunroof. Sunroof. Yeah. You hear the screeching of tires, it sounds like. And as you guys are approaching like a small little intersection is where another back alley connects with the back alley that you're on, a blue Dart panel van that we as the audience have seen earlier screeches around the corner, going way too fast for this area. It's not going to hit you or anything like that, but it's careens around the corner and starts driving like in front of you. It's about maybe 15 yards in front of you.
Hey, you Goombas!
Yeah, and Wadsworth's he's like, oh, watch out! And he honks the horn twice.
Reno instinctually jumps into the limo.
Yeah, and
off the roof because he doesn't want to get thrown off.
Good call. And so he hits the brakes a little bit, so you kind of like, and then you fall back in. The back doors.
Did anybody get the license plate?
Well, it's right in front of you. So the back doors of this panel van are swinging open as the driver, for whatever reason, you can't tell, is driving pretty erratically, back and forth, back and forth. And inside, you can see two men wearing like Loop Science work shirts. They are struggling and grappling with each other inside of this panel van. And they seem to be fighting over some kind of large handheld device in their hands, and they're tugging and they're pulling, and they're like, one guy reaches off and he grabs the other guy by the scruff of his collar, and they're like, they're fighting, and then they're oblivious to what's going on.
They're fighting over a cell phone?
No, it's a large handheld device.
That's what Freddie's going to say. It's the logical deduction to make. I mean, I know cell phones are expensive, but why fight?
Yeah, so they're oblivious to what's going on here. And all of a sudden, you guys are kind of rubbernecking, and you're kind of leaning out looking. All of a sudden, there's this blinding flash of light that shoots off from this device. A bright green energy beam shoots out with a loud kerzap, and waving light shoots towards you guys in this car. The cone of energy engulfs the entire car. You feel a tingle move through you like a wave. And then the light fades. And you guys all look forward. But something is off. Huge boulders of jagged rock pass you on the ground. The fences on either side of you loom over. The garbage bins next to you look like they're 100 feet tall. And the car now starts to bounce along the road. It appears you guys have been shrunk.
Honey, I shrunk the butler.
That's it, folks. Good night. End of stream.
Did you guys see that? Did you see that? That was one of the rays I was talking about. The microwave waves that comes out. You think that van was from the loop?
Well, yeah, I did just get the plate, and I was about to report him to the police for dangerous driving.
Yeah.
You guys see the van. It turns around the corner up ahead.
Is the van also of us? Like, is it huge?
No. The van is one of the biggest things you've ever seen, even at this distance.
Mr. Wadsworth, I'll follow that van.
Oh, and as he's driving, since he's driving now and not you guys, I don't have to roll. So the car is like careening over the pockmarked concrete. And so you guys, everyone rolls something. What are you going to roll for this?
Everyone rolls
Roll
something.
something. Roll.
I didn't see something on my sheet.
Yeah, roll move. Because now you guys are being tousled through this car.
Tossle.
Seeing if you could hold
Don't have move.
That's okay. You
Use
just
the
click.
wallet.
You can click it, and it will just roll your skill.
Ah.
So we have 3 successes for David, 1 success for Poe.
Someone still has to roll. Someone didn't roll move. Move, not body. Oh wait, you're just.
Yeah, I don't have moves, so I roll body.
Same.
Yeah, and 1 success for.
Oh, okay. All right. So as this limousine is careening and bouncing around, Freddie, you fly up and you kind of like bounce off the ceiling. You're not going to take any damage, but it kind of rings your bell a little bit. David, as you've had practice kind of monkeying around, as you said earlier, you're able to put your hands up onto the ceiling and you stabilize yourself pretty good. Poe and Reno, you both managed to stabilize. And then you hear a large popping sound. And then the limo kind of lurches up to one side and then clunk.
Oh, we lost a tire. Did we lose an axle?
I'm sorry. Did anyone see the van just now? Did you guys see that
Yeah.
van?
Yeah. Freddie pops out his notebook and he's got the registration.
No. Did you see that the van was 1,000 feet high?
Yes. I believe it's like that popular film.
I'm sorry. Did you?
Popular screenplay.
Freddie, I think we have bigger problems than just the license.
Yeah,
plate.
Or maybe smaller problems.
I
Yeah,
think
you guys all look out the window.
I think we should-
The hood is smoking in the front of the Rolls Royce.
My father is going to sue those guys
Okay.
straight to the poorhouse.
I feel like we should probably be more concerned in the fact that we're very small.
Yes, let's go and acquire a remote control car.
Yeah, I'm not a mathematician, so the scale's not going to be accurate. But you guys are about, just for you guys, you're about 4 inches tall.
Where would we acquire and how would we acquire that?
Where are we? South Main Street?
I'm 4 inches tall.
Reno's going to try to open the door and
4.5.
step out, just kind of take in his surroundings,
Sure.
like
yeah,
comprehend what has happened.
You can definitely comprehend. I don't think comprehend is the one you want, but you can roll investigate. Yeah, or comprehend. I'll take either or.
I don't comprehend it.
Okay. It looks to be what Poe is saying. You look to be roughly 4 inches tall. You are in the middle of this back alley in a residential area. Yeah, it looks like the road is probably about the length of a football field from what you can gather, and you're in the middle of it.
Okay, so here's the thing, guys. I'm really good at finding mysteries, but less about the solving them, and even less about being 4 inches tall.
Yeah, it's what I'm here for. The solving of the things.
Great. How do I not be small?
We have been shrunk, so we require some sort of rebigrifier. They'll have one at the loop. The rebigrifier.
Okay. So, do you know where in the loop the rebigorifier is?
I would say lab therapy 6. But that's just a rough guess.
Did you make that up?
No.
Sounds like you made it up.
I think you made it up.
I did.
Yeah, I do
see
too.
I did see some renovation works going on there with the with the center construction. So,
How do we get there?
that's where the remote control car comes in. Whose house are we closest to, and who has one?
I don't even know where we are.
I don't have a remote control car, but I have a RC airplane.
That will suffice.
How
And me
big-
without
how-
my little Biggles flying helmet.
How big is this RC flyer normally? Because it is to scale. If it's on your person, it is to scale.
It's not
or
on me.
small?
It's at his house.
Oh, okay, then you don't have it. So it is gargantuan. Well, probably the size of an actual airplane comparatively to you guys.
I mean, we are very small. We could acquire one from the toy store downtown and leave them an IOU. My
How
parents are
do
good for
we
it.
operate it?
How would you suggest opening the box, genius?
Freddie sort of goes into
Those
his
RC airplanes require assembly.
Freddie sort of goes into his pocket and pulls out a Stanley knife. He pulls out a Swiss Army knife and flicks it out. Still sharp.
The blade is millimeters long.
David reaches into the center console because he knows there's sodas kept in there, and he pulls out a soda and says, "Why don't we just find the van that did this to us?"
Reno, roll investigation since you're the only one outside the car. Reno.
Oh, sorry, I didn't listen.
Sorry.
I was looking at chat.
Sorry. Yeah, roll investigation because you're outside. Everyone else is still in the car.
What do you get for
Perfect.
looking at-
As they're inside talking about rebigifiers, you're kind of looking around.
Science.
You look up and you see. I don't even know if you would, from this angle, you would actually be able to see the houses over the fence because the fence is one of the biggest things you've ever freaking seen in your life. You see white smoke coming out from, like, rising above the house on the corner. And you remember the van went around the corner.
Hey guys.
Yes, Rena?
I think I found a way to solve our problem. Maybe.
Great. How?
Shoot.
Where? What is it?
See that smoke over there? I think that's the same corner the van went around. Maybe they crashed.
They were driving out of control. Let's go.
They may have the thing.
Yes.
That'd be great. What do we do with this elderly man?
Yeah, Wadsworth is like sitting in the passenger seat or the driver's seat. He's like, oh no.
Yeah. What was?
And he's looking around.
Continue
and,
being
like,
unflappable, okay?
Oh.
Keep being British. Stiff upper lip.
He,
Spirit
he-
of the Blitz.
he looks at his watch, but there's no watch. He looks at his wrist, but there's no watch. He's like, "Oh, Mr. Descenta is going to kill me."
He's like,
And
oh,
he's like-
no.
Yeah.
Kills.
Oh no.
Well- You do realize, my dearest chap, that it's probably my mum you gotta worry about.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's what he says. Oh,
Yeah.
Angelina is going to be so displeased with me. And
But
he
on the bright side, she enjoys doing body work, so.
he kind of goes even more pale if that's possible.
Okay, so
I it on cars.
how do we get to that house?
It's about 2 blocks down.
Freddie picks up his skateboard. You got the bike. It's still on the back, isn't it? We secured it properly
Oh, that's gonna
with
be
like shot cord.
that's gonna be like miles.
Sorry, it's not 2 blocks, it's 2 houses.
Yeah,
That's
gonna be
like
like
a
2
mile.
blocks, right?
It's gonna be like a mile.
2 houses equates 2 blocks.
Not when
Surely.
you're 4 inches.
Hey,
Well, effective.
It's not how
even
big
if
it
it's an
is, it's
effective
how
of a
you use
mile
it.
or two, you can move a mile in like what 8 minutes on a bike pretty easily.
I don't know. I'm not great at math.
thank you, my scientifically minded friend. But
Reno
yeah,
checks his watch.
it's that, or Freddy's gonna be like, there is rope in the trunk of the car. We could, sketch off the back of something high.
Like a bug. You ride a bug.
Something like that.
No,
Or
I
we
think
just
take
get
my,
on bikes
I'm
and
gonna take my bike.
start
Yeah, I'm gonna
rather
take
than
my
waiting for bugs.
That sounds less dangerous. riding bugs sounds dangerous.
Lasso them. Yeah.
I can't ride a horse. I'm not allowed to, so I don't think I would be allowed to ride an ant.
Plus, you said your dad makes sure there's no bugs in the vehicle, so we probably.
That's true. Yeah,
won't be able
the
to find
anti-bug vehicle, so it probably has a repellent.
Yeah, that would be a bad look if people saw me and my parents on a pest control business. You all right?
It's true.
This time.
Okay, I'm gonna get my bike, and then I'll meet you guys there. And he gets his bike and starts to pedal towards the smoke.
Is anyone going with him?
Yeah. Freddy just grabbed his skateboard from whatever serves as the skateboard rack in the back of the Rolls, because
All right,
you've got to
come on,
have those
guys.
things if you order
And
them
with a
from
running
Rolls-Royce.
start, you see Reno just kind of take his full of bike and flick it open, and then jump on it and keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, and David just gets on his skateboard and says, as he goes past the passenger side window, he says, "Wadsworth, stay cool."
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
no.
a flask of
no.
emergency tea in the glove box, and some biscuits. Video boots.
He's already got it open. There's
Yeah.
there's like crumbs down his tuxedo, his suit, and he's like got the cookie half in his mouth, and he's in shock for an old man. I can't kill him, so he's in shock. And you guys are on your modes of transportation. You have about 2 houses to go to get to
Freddy
the
can't
edge of the-
resist but to grab out his Walkman and stick in the Peter Gunn theme.
Your theme song. Everyone roll move, because this is a pock-marked back alley.
Okay. I can't suck that much. Yay, 1.
I mean, are the potholes a problem, G? When we're 4 inches, they're like a Grand
No.
Canyon, so we just
The
kind of go around them.
potholes-
Well, that's essentially what you're doing.
The
So-
potholes are awesome when you're on a skateboard because they're like a vert ramp.
Except you fall in 3 inches and you gotta climb back out.
Nah, momentum will carry you
Reno's
through.
scooter
Go
doesn't have
faster.
the ground clearance for it, so
Yeah.
he's been kind of having to get
So-
off and run.
Yeah, so if you can either run or you can still maneuver, but it's like you're literally having to weave your way around, and you're able
He's
to
kind
do
of
it,
doing
but-
that half on and off, getting on the straights and running in the.
Yeah. Why am I missing somebody? Oh, okay, everyone else got a success. Okay, so it's just kind of a slow going at first, but you guys all seem to be maneuvering your way across pretty well.
Yeah, we're in an alley, right? Because he took a shortcut.
Yeah.
Yeah, can we figure out? Because he took a weird shortcut, right? Can we figure out where we are in the town? Judging by the giant stuff around us, is it possible to figure out where we are?
Yeah, roll comprehend.
Sure.
Anyone who wants to do this?
Well, I was going to threaten rolling investigate because I have nothing in comprehend. Well, I have a little in comprehend.
Even if you roll comprehend, it still rolls your base stat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
2 successes, 3 successes.
Uno.
So 3 1 successes.
Yeah, so you guys kind of have a vague idea. You recognize the what do you call it? The weather vane of a rooster on the roof of that house with the red roof. So, yeah, you're kind of like a couple blocks off Main Street.
Okay.
Definitely heading towards the arcade. But
Are we anywhere near like any of the loop like out facilities?
no,
Okay.
the loop is on the outside of the city. You're now in
Yeah.
the middle.
So weird. This van was here. Yeah, we just keep
They
riding.
drive through the town all the time. But yeah.
Yeah, here the thing is they were fighting, right? They were fighting over a thing. So if they were transporting something, why were they transporting it through the town? If the loop facility is on the outside of town, where were they transporting it to? That's my curiosity.
Well, they're suffering from that MK Ultra mind control. You made me read that paper about it.
That could be. It could. But usually we don't use MK Ultra on. So MK Ultra was a voluntary program that you in the military, and it was on the East Coast, and it was about hearing people in Russia. It's a whole thing. But either way, why would they need a shrinking ray or a rebiggifier in town?
To easily move cargo, they're trying to suppress the truckers union by making things very small and just putting them in vans. Logical.
As soon as Freddy says that, you just hear that skirt as his bike as he slams backwards on the pedals, and the bike fishtails and skids out. He pulls out his backpack, pulls out a notebook, and he begins immediately writing down TransUnion Magnetrine truck routes. The loop is trying to, and he's codifying that new theory into his notebook of many conspiracies.
And that's why we're friends, folks.
And then
It seemed ridiculous for a split second.
Yeah.
And then it didn't. And then it made more sense.
And then it made the most sense. Of course, they're
Yeah.
trying to cut in on the truckers union. That only makes sense. Cut out the middleman. If the loop owns the means of
God.
production and they own the means of transport, they control everything.
Yep.
Create a tiny circuit, ship it, blow it up with the rebiggifier. Now you have giant computers. Oh man!
Which is the only kind of computers we have. It's the 80s.
Right. For now, until we make a shrinking ray and shrink them down to tiny computers. See?
Then you've got to make the monitor like 55 inches or something ridiculous. It's going to be crazy with a CRT.
It would be crazy. Plus the cathode rays cause microwaves. So dangerous.
And imagine how bad that would be when it was turned on. And it was huge.
The devastation.
As you guys are you've stopped and Poe is taking notes in his conspiracy notebook. You hear like a ruffling sound, a scruffing sound, and the jingling of a tag on a collar.
We got a dog incoming.
And this is the first corruption bar. As you guys kind of turn and look towards one of the yard fences, you are greeted with the rather large face of a corgi looking at you guys through a gap in the fence. There's no board, and this dog is like staring intently at you, ears up.
It's like sharks. You got to punch them on the nose.
Nobody move. They can smell
Hey,
fear.
David, do you remember which one of our neighbors owned a corgi?
That's also sharks.
And then as you see him kind of pull back. He pulls back and he leaps up through the gap, but because he's a chonky boy, he's kind of stuck. So he starts wiggling his little body to trying to get through this gap in the fence. He's making good headway, but he's wiggling. He's got to wiggle.
G wrote this scene just to play her dog.
Yes.
Yeah.
just to play Tyrion.
The dog's name is we all know what the dog's name is in the community.
Yep.
And he's like, and he's like wiggling, trying to go.
Well, I do have a feeling we should run.
He's huffing and puffing. What do you guys
Yes,
do?
I have a feeling that the situation is about to get very rough.
Fuck you.
Jesus
I'm gonna
Christ.
feed you to the dog, Freddy.
There are going to be dog puns.
Terrible.
You know what you did.
We should go, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, hit it.
You guys can roll something. Roll.
I'm going to get me one of them Honda mini bikes. That would have still fired up, right?
Roll investigate.
Indeedy do.
2 successes.
It's that thing that I do with 1 success.
All right. Snow is not succeeding with his roll 20 at all today.
David is not smart.
David's role is more of an egad, Freddy, you're a genius. You've got it, Dr. Watson type.
Yeah. As you guys kind of turn and you look, as this dog is wiggling his chonky body through this gap, you know, you're pretty certain you're not going to be able to outrun him. But you do see a couple places where you can hide. The closest one being like a one of those garbage bin frames that you just, it's like built with a bottom and they put the bins on it and it has a room underneath.
Time to make like the garbage pail kids, and David will just head for that.
Yeah,
Dude.
I'm no stranger to climbing through trash. And he rides there as well.
Okay, everyone will move.
I'm so glad I'm not into Armani like my parents, or that'd be a fortune to dry clean.
I'm killing it with rolls today. I say
You
that.
are.
I'm gonna
Somebody help me out! I'm not good at this.
Apparently
As you
not.
guys apparently
Everyone's-
help him up and pull him into the bin.
Freaking roll 3 successes. Yeah. As you guys run, and do you stay on your bikes and your shit, or do you drop it and run?
Well,
No,
my
I-
old school Santa Cruz deck is coming with me.
And I'm already
Yeah,
on
you
the bike,
don't-
so I just go.
Vito can just fold up his scooter and run with it in his arms.
Yep. As you guys start running towards the curb, you hear an increase, and then you hear like the comical pop as his booty busts free from the constraint of the fence, and then you hear, and as you guys just get there in time, you run underneath the clearance of the thingy dingy, whatever you call it, just as he gets there, and he slides and his snout goes under the thing, and with Freddy's 3 successes, he's able to grab the rest of you out of the way.
Well, it's that, or I was going to have to boop him on the nose with the skateboard. A gentle booping.
No, he's like on his side, and he's like got his little T-Rex arms. He's like,
Okay.
And
You
he's
be a
trying to,
good
like-
boy, and you stay there.
Does anyone have any snacks?
Got some chorizo. Snagged it from the minibar in the limo.
How do?
Is that sorry? That's a meat, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So you see the
It-
nose start twitching, and then he
Come on, boy. Come on, boy. Who wants this?
starts scrabbling even faster. He's like,
Anybody actually play team sports around here? You can throw it.
No, I'm not allowed to play sports.
Dave, Reno,
I'm not a team player.
doesn't mean you can't throw, dude.
Not a team player.
No, your question was, do I play team sports?
Yeah, but can you throw?
I can throw, but I don't play team sports.
You go.
What's your question again?
Lob this real far.
Yeah, and David will grab the chorizo and try to throw it.
okay, where are you gonna throw it at the dog?
No, probably to the side, back towards where the dog came from, I guess.
Sure.
Away from the
Roll.
road. We don't want to be in there. We don't want to be in for that.
I'll be a dick. Roll force or move. Roll move. Oh, sorry. No, roll force to see how far you can throw it. Nice. So you clear the area, and
Nice one.
the dog he follows it with his eye, because also this snack is, how big is the snack normally in your hand?
Yeah.
It's like the size
powerful
of
smelling though.
It's like the size of your finger, and now it's the size of your finger when you're 4 inches tall. So you throw it, and it's like, "Ha!" He looks, and then he scammers over to it, and he inhales this piece of meat.
So what was the rest of the plan?
Run.
Run like fun.
Oh, okay. We should be doing that now?
He pops back on his bike and starts
Yeah.
going.
You guys are gonna make a break for it?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll move.
Yeah,
or unless you're trying to be sneaky or something, or...
No success.
1 success.
Everyone's got 1.
God,
2,
David is an
2.
athletic powerhouse.
Yeah.
That's
He
all
runs,
is.
he throws.
He climbs. What doesn't he do? Yeah, so you guys make a break for it, and true to Corgi fashion, he inhales this little speck of thing, and then he's like sniffing incessantly around the spot like crazy. And you guys make a break for it. Where do you want to go?
Can we still see the smoke?
Yeah.
That.
Now that Reno pointed it out, you don't have to roll for it. It's pretty visible.
We're in hot pursuit. No detective worth their salt gives up when they're in hot pursuit.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have salt in our house.
Yeah, government will get you with that sodium, dude.
That's the thing is it's crystalline based sodium, so they can actually hide microbes in there, and they can that's how it's like fluoride in your toothpaste kind of thing.
Fluoride in the water too.
Exactly. Anyway. He continues riding towards the...
He's the most monotone kid ever. Anyway.
I'm playing a weirdo, G, and I'm embracing it.
Playing.
Yeah. This is the real Mike.
I always find it funny. It
Yeah.
seems Mike's characters always seem to be some sort of conspiracy theorist.
They aren't. It's just this game brings it out of me.
It's just these people that bring
What
it out
about
in you.
Vince?
Yeah, it's just Tales from the Loop. It's Tales from the
Yeah.
Loop brings it out of me.
Vince is kind of more a macro-communist punk. But,
That's
you know.
true. Yeah.
Mitch is also a
Conspiracy Mitch is
Yeah. Oh god. All right, so you guys are going down the road.
Mhm.
You come to a large puddle, which is about the size of half a football field. You guys gonna go through it or around it?
Does it look deep?
You have no way of telling.
I grab a rock, a small,
Okay.
tiny fragment of rock, and I plunk it in the middle of this thing.
I'm
You're-
going to
okay.
invest. Can I investigate
Okay,
that?
you're gonna have to make a roll. I want to see if you can roll a 25-yard pass.
He can't. He for sure can't. He
Oh.
rolls 1 success.
That's perfect.
So he
Yep,
throws
you
this
kinda-
thing as far as his little arms can go. And he's going to judge scientifically based on the sound of the plunk, clearly how deep this is.
And then ripples.
It's too
Gino's
deep.
listening too. He would like to calculate it.
It's too deep, guys. I think we can't cross it.
Yeah, I'll
David's
tell
already
you.
going
You can't.
around.
You can't tell how deep it is from here.
It's clearly too deep.
Don't go chasing waterfalls.
Plus,
guys.
you'll get wet.
Indeed.
That's
Stick to
true.
the rivers and lakes that you're used to.
That's true. I'm not allowed to get wet.
I thought you were gonna say they're not allowed to throw stones.
The- And
He's
does
gonna
that
be
include
terrible in the
showers?
90s.
Because there's a waft coming from you.
No, I'm allowed to shower. I do shower. I like baths, but like I'm not allowed to get wet in my clothes because then if you get wet in your clothes, what happens is they're wet and then you're wet and then there's a whole moisture wicking thing in your body and then
It's
you
a
can get
body
pneumonia.
chill thing.
Yeah, you can get pneumonia and die. So my
How
grand
can you all
says
tell it's so deep, but you don't even jump in.
my grand says you're not allowed to get wet when your clothes are on.
Solid.
But wet clothing blocks radiation.
Yeah,
Have
I
you
mean,
heard
you can get wet if you're in, say, Chernobyl.
A wet towel around your head will block the microwaves from the satellites.
Always know where your towel is, or so Arthur Dent says.
Is that true? Do wet towels?
I've
block
heard
microwave?
I've heard a story somewhere. I think it was one of those Loop newspaper about a guy that supposedly fell into a reactor and had no problem.
Because his clothes were wet, right?
Apparently, he was in the main cooling tank and nothing happened to him.
Was it
Quite an
because
interesting read.
was it because his clothes were wet? Was that why?
Well, there was water, so I would assume so.
Oh. I don't think that would help us now that we're shrunk, though.
No.
But I'm gonna write that down.
But if we want to get unshrunk, we don't want to have wet clothes. That was
Right.
the point.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So we shouldn't swim because then the wet clothes will block the rebigifying isotopes.
That's it.
Yeah. And you don't want to get caught in like
I think he's got it.
you don't want to get caught in a manipulative transbigrifier loop there.
Well,
Yeah,
especially
we could
if
be.
part of the only parts of you that are clothed in the wet clothing get blocked, so other parts of you will get really big and the rest will stay small.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be ridiculous. It'll be like worse than Bruce Banner in The Incredible Hulk.
It'd be like
You know how his trousers always stay intact, but his shirt always rips.
Yeah, it would be like Cronenberg.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, he's allowed to watch
I've
movies.
never heard of that place.
Yeah, so we just don't have a TV in our house, but I go to the theater, and I've seen Cronenberg.
Freddie will write himself a note to get a better movie projector.
Install home theater at Poe's house.
No, just improve. Improve what we have.
Okay, so we're going around.
Yep.
David's already halfway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys coming?
Sorry.
Yeah, sure. I'm just making a note to get Twilight Zone on Cine so that Poe can watch it. He'll love that.
I don't know what that is.
It's great. Rod Serling, sci-fi weirdness. You'll love it. It's great.
So you guys are approaching the corner as you guys pass around the lake. And do you guys go around the corner?
Mhm.
So this is where, like, obviously you're coming. There's like you have the road, and then the curb with like a couple feet of grass, and then some garbage bins sometimes, and there's a fence. And now you're at the edge. So now that's where there's a sidewalk with the boulevard, and then the road. You can see that up ahead.
Do we see the house?
Yeah, you could see the houses across the street, but I think from this, well, you probably would see the tops of the roofs.
Do we see the van?
As you guys reach the corner and you look to your left, you see a van, a powder or sky blue panel van.
It's about the size around Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking big, even from across the street. You guys are passing cars like parked in their driveways, and they're gargantuan. So,
What is the van doing?
it is sitting there. Hold on, I'm just trying to reach through my notes here. It looks like the van careened around the corner and it has crashed across the street into like a lamppost, and it's like half on the curb. The bumper's kind of hanging off of it, and there's smoke, like steam coming from the hood, from under the hood.
They're only out a radiator.
Is from what we can see, are any of the doors open?
There is the back door open. Roll investigate. Anyone who would like to look.
Indeedy do. Oh, none?
For the investigator,
One
No.
success.
I was clearly just appraising the damage to see how much it would cost.
so you have
What?
to-
His grandfather runs a body shop.
He's a theoretical investigator.
Yeah.
And more about the
Really?
interconnectedness of all things, like Dirk Gently.
Okay.
Only Edgar seems to know anything.
Yep.
Okay, so from inside the van, you can see, like, the doors they're not like obviously swinging wildly, but they're right. You see blinking lights, a shoe, and a glint of something metallic on the floor.
Like a standalone shoe.
Well, you can't really tell from this angle.
Okay.
and this distance. But you
Okay.
see this. You can see the sole of a shoe.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
How do you
Well-
suppose we get up there?
Don't worry. I bought. Freddy just picks the ream of rope up that he threw over his shoulder from the back of the rolls. Tow rope. We just need something to stick on the end of it, like a paper clip or something like that, to make some sort of crampon.
Oh, I have a
Get
paper.
it on the bumper, climb up.
I have a paperclip.
Yeah, we're talking of us, everybody else size paperclip, not an us size paperclip. It's relative.
Oh. Okay. I'll keep that.
Sorry, so you said you wanted to go back to the limo? Is that what you said?
No, the rope came from the back of the limo.
Oh, okay.
I was going to use it to lasso some bugs or something like that to get us a quicker ride here, but bugs go where they want. They're like worse than New York City
If
taxis.
we climb up the tire, we could get underneath, and then we'd have to, like, a monkey bar underneath the... And then, is there a part that goes inside the car? I guess if we climb on the tire, and then if we go to the front, and we climb on the front tire, and then we go to the connecting rod that connects the two tires together, we can climb up
The
to
tie rod?
Okay. And then we can climb up to the engine part, and then inside the engine part, there's got to be that one part that goes into the car, right, where the air comes out, the air conditioning.
What, and we slice our way in through the vents?
Or we just find a twig or something that's log-sized for
Yeah,
us.
or we
lean it
find
up
like a
against the
paper
back
clip.
and climb
Or
up.
we find like a paperclip or something dumped
But
on
we've
the
got to
side
get
of the
there
road.
first. Talking about it now is kind of inconsequential until we get there.
Yeah,
To the bumper.
that's true. I don't like
And-
consequences either.
But be careful. You've heard of Men in Black, right?
No,
These are men in powder blue.
Ah.
is that worse?
Yeah, 100% worse. I mean, black. You expect it from Men in Black. Men in powder blue, you don't expect it.
Men in powder blue are unexpected. Is there anything else?
This isn't a powder blue to you guys.
It's a little bit.
It's a bit more of a electric blue.
But we would be proud.
Men in electric blue, question mark. Okay.
So as you guys kind of start making your way towards the curve, you reach the sidewalk, and I'm gonna do another corruption bar here. You guys hear the cycling of bike tires and bike chains, and you guys look and you see 4 kids on bikes barreling down towards you.
Are we in the road?
You're on the sidewalk, and they're on the sidewalk.
Towards the tire, guys.
And you said the van is across the road, right?
Yeah, so you're on like the south side, and it's on the north side. You will have to cross the street.
I think Poe just cheeses it into the street. Like
Chases what?
Like he just runs, like cheese it,
Oh, okay.
cheese it, kids.
Okay.
Get
I
out
thought
of
you
here.
said I think you said chase it.
No,
I'm
no,
what are you chasing?
like it's the fuzz, cheese it,
Yeah. You thought he'd gotten turned to the corgi side by the dog, and he wanted to chase bikes all of a
Yeah.
sudden.
no,
Wait
he's
till
gonna
the mailman gets here.
he's gonna dramatically in 14-year-old fashion just run and like dun, 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 dun,
Try and cross
and
in
like
the bikes?
leap over off the sidewalk, which like
He has seen Chariots of Fire.
I want the camera to pull out as you see him like leap across the Grand Canyon, but then it zooms out and it's like a 4-inch boop.
Yeah.
Like it's just the curve to the road.
Yeah. Yeah. So as these bikes pass, nothing's really gonna happen with these kids, but I have them in my thing here, so I want to use them.
Yeah.
These actually kids that you know from school. They're 4 friends. You don't really get along with them very well. They're kind of bullies. There's Bino, who's a short kid with a green t-shirt and shorts, kind of plain, soft complexion. There's Eddie. He's tall with dark hair, combed back. And you have Raven, who is, oddly enough, he seems to be like he's covered in dirt, like he went running through the mud or something like that. And then there
Obviously,
is
a goth girl with a name like Raven.
no, they're all boys. They're all boys. And the last one is Wayland. Medium build, scruffy hair, scuffed up knees. Looks like he likes to climb trees and stuff like that and fall. To anyone in the audience who's like, as we're watching this go by, they look oddly familiar. Like they look very similar to Dave, Poe, Freddie, and Reno, except they all have like dark, really poorly grown mustaches on there.
Is there any chunks of concrete or rocks around that
Yeah,
David could just try to push in front of their path?
that was my thinking too. I'm gonna throw something at them.
Sure. Yeah, sure. There's just like a chunk that's like kind of it's like a little pothole that's starting to happen. So like the chunk is still inside the ground and they're coming towards you.
Yeah, can David kind of try to put that in the way to cause them some mischief?
Yeah, I'm helping with this.
Yeah, sure. Every roll. So you can't both do. Well, you can do a group roll, or you can do one person and give the other a bonus, or you can just roll.
What am I rolling?
You're gonna
Force?
roll force. Yeah, force. This is strength based.
Nope.
Would
I
you
do
like?
not.
There is the push ability, or
I'll actually use my luck.
okay. And re-roll. There you go. Fucking. So as
Screw
your
those guys, they're whack.
so what does that look? So what does that look like for you to get that 3 successes?
So, yeah. So David, gets under that piece of concrete and he times it so that whichever one of them's in the lead, he pushes it at the tire just as the tire is coming down, causing it to roll over the loose piece of rock.
Okay.
He's hoping that he's going to cause some sort of the bike to topple over and maybe the guys behind run into him and fall over on top.
Okay. Well, that's freaking 3 successes. So
Mhm.
since Bino's in the lead, the short kid with the plain clothes and the soft complexion, he hits the little the little stone essentially, and his bike goes like kind of jolts. He's like, whoa, and he kind of wobbles, and he kind of hits the brakes, and then the other 3 guys go and they all crash into the back of him, and they all kind of go off and kind of, they don't fall over, but they're going to kind of scatter onto the boulevard, and they kind of have to stop and be like, hey, what the hell's going on, man? It's like, I don't know, I kind of just stumbled. It's like, well, ride a bike better, God. And the other guy's
This
like,
is dealing with us when we're 4 inches tall. Imagine dealing with us when we're 5 foot plus.
yeah. And the guy's like, well,
Another camera zoom out.
Yeah.
yeah.
Come on, he's from New York. He's not going to give them he's going to give them an earful even if they can't hear him.
Yeah. It's like, and then like the kid named Rave's like, guys, be careful, I have my listening device on here, it's gonna get damaged. And then he's fiddling with a little device on the front of his bike, and then they like, oh, what happened? And then they just end up kind of getting off and they go, oh, screw this, let's go, we're gonna go to the arcade. Yeah, let's go to the arcade, man. And then they cycle away. Yeah.
I don't suppose we were lucky enough to have anything fall out of their pockets.
Nothing
What
fall
are-
off the bikes.
No, unless what are you looking for?
Just like something, if there's something stuck into the
Like keys
into
or
the
something
spokes.
we can
Paperclip.
use to.
Hmm.
I'm trying Mike's roll for bullshit, so.
Yeah. Any bits of metal they stuck in the spoke to decorate them? That'd be good too.
Playing cards.
That's the trick, is make stuff up until your
Ace of
GM says
spades.
no.
Yeah. Well, you didn't specify before you made the roll, so you're gonna have to make another roll if you want to have something. Normally, I'd say
Sure.
give me a fate point or give me a darkness point, and I will let you have it. But that's not a mechanic in this game. So roll me a contact. Okay. What would you like to have fallen off the bike? I don't think anything's really going to fall off their person.
I'm thinking a set of keys falling out of their pockets.
Okay, sure. It's like on the shoestring, the one key on the shoestring, and it was like dangling what do you call it? Precariously and irresponsibly out of the last kid's pocket. Who's the last kid? Waylon.
Good luck getting back to your trailer.
Yeah. I'm rich.
Even when I'm tiny, I'm still rich.
Yeah, so then it was like dangling, and as they're kind of scuffling up, and then this key just ding, 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 across the car, and like
David
falls
will
into the grass.
kind of walk over it and pick it up and put it over his shoulder.
Okay.
And head towards the van.
Dave, you're a man. That was great. Anyway, let's get into this thing.
So you guys want to hop off the curb and make your way across the street?
Yep.
Yes.
Heading
And
towards
look
the
both ways.
I do have a feeling we're gonna have
Thank
to
you.
dodge a car.
He
But
said
why do
he
you think
looks
I said
both
look
ways.
both ways?
Lesson number 1 when you're a kid in the 80s: look both ways before you cross the street. I do have one more corruption bard to use.
Yes, and we could get a speeding 57 Chevy convertible and get taken out by my mum.
Yep. So you guys look both ways. It's actually pretty quiet at this time of day. Not a lot of traffic. And then no one's coming. And the rivals, as I call them, have cycled away.
Poe's already in the street. He did a sweet jump.
Okay, he
and
did.
and he's been making his
like,
way across. Yeah. He's making his way across towards the powder blue van.
Okay.
Yeah. He couldn't
And the
risk
rest of you are following?
he couldn't risk ranking the bike over the top because that would he could break the bike.
Yeah. Into water maybe, but like onto straight concrete.
Yeah.
Yay! All right, so you guys all make it to the far curb. The van is up on the curb on 3 wheels, and so let's see. The driver's side wheel is down, and I mentioned before that the bumper is hanging off a little bit.
Okay, so how do we get up? Did we figure it out?
Keys, rope, and a bumper.
Yeah, if the bumper's hanging off a bit, maybe we can pull it down so that it leans up to the back of the car.
Okay. What should I do?
Keep an eye out for microwaves.
Great.
And dogs and ants.
They're still significantly bigger than that.
What about bees?
Ooh, don't mention
Wasps.
bees.
Wasps are worse than bees. At least when bees sting you, they die.
I think
Sorry,
at our size,
Paul, are you
bees
looking
stinging
for
us would
something?
die as well.
No, he's looking for wasps, bees, ants,
Okay,
microwaves.
Yeah, you do see insects, and some of them might be bigger than. Obviously, they're going to be bigger than normal. You're going to see the mosquito. You're probably going to see a couple dragonflies go by. The dragonfly is obviously the biggest, but nothing that is coming to get you.
You got to adjust the binoculars, obviously.
Yeah. Just making sure. I kind of tuned out for a second, so I wasn't sure if you were waiting.
No, he's not
me to
actually
do
looking for anything.
Sorry, we were being uncharacteristically quiet. We
Yeah.
won't let it happen again.
He's looking for things in the sense of nonsense.
Yeah.
Y'all are so slow. As Rena just keeps walking.
We're old, Reno.
You're not that old.
Greeno's
You know how they say when you hit 15, it's all downhill.
Yeah, they do say that.
Not 15 yet.
I'm
I'm
14.
not 15 either.
I am.
I'm
It's
14.
why I have to get a driving license in 6 months. I can't just skateboard around everywhere.
Well, you know the rules of the group. Once you turn 16, you're out of the group.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I will have a car by then.
That's
And
how
then
we
you
lost
will be
2
the ones that
members.
suck.
So are we getting into the van or
I'm keeping a lookout.
Yep.
Yeah, you throw the rope, we'll get up it somehow.
And sorry, how are you getting into the van?
So I think the plan is to try to throw the rope over the bumper. You said it's kind of half hanging off. Trying to pull it down to the ground if we can. So we've got to ramp up to the back.
Yeah, are you going to use the keys as a counterweight?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
You're prying it down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how loose is it? You said it's hanging off.
I'm trying to gauge actual.
I'm going to give
scale
lead.
things
I'm
here.
going to give lead a roll in order to sort of like rouse them and get no successes.
No one cares what you say.
Well, stop making it like real
He goes
life.
on this
goddammit.
big, long, inspirational speech, and we're all just like, all right, how do we think we'll get up here? Ignoring him entirely.
It's like a General Patton-esque speech, right? Like the flag's waving behind him, and he turns around, and everyone's already got the lasso. No one's paying attention or heard it.
David and Reno have the lasso, and then there's Poe.
Reno's like calculating, all right, how are we gonna get it up there and secure it?
Yeah, okay. Let's kind of do it's like a skill check.
Like he's
Challenge
telling
here.
he's telling David, it's like, oh, you need to do this.
Yeah, calculate, perfect. And
You throw
then
it this specific way.
Freddie, how would you like to contribute? You rolled the lead. Is that what your thing was?
Yeah, I rolled the lead and failed.
Okay,
but
so
I can calculate and get a success.
Okay, so you kind of jump onto what Reno is saying. It's like, oh yeah, and you kind of stand
Yeah.
behind him and you kind of point, yes.
I imagine it's more like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I was saying, Reno.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're basically just putting my, my great rousing speech into play there.
Yeah, and then you can roll move to see David if you can reach or get the rope to do what you want. And does Poe want to do anything to help out here?
No.
He's just keeping lookout.
He was told to. He asked, "How can I help?" He was told to keep lookout. That's what he's doing.
Okay, so you got the one success. You got the lasso over the bumper. It's about like halfway down, so it's like I'd say it's about 3/4 of the way off, like closer to the ground than it would normally be. So you don't have to pull it too far.
Yeah.
But you're able to
So-
get it up in like.
Can
Go
we
ahead.
pull it down to the ground? So we've got to ramp up to the back of the truck now, the van.
Cool. Then I guess we'd climb up it, right?
Yeah.
I will give you something. David will have to hold it.
Okay. David will keep being the counterweight.
Yeah. Come on, Poe. Up you go.
The-
We need your overactive imagination to figure this thing out.
Yeah.
Great.
The key is not heavy enough to be a counterbalance.
Poe scrambles up the bumper.
Roll move.
Okay. Can I argue sneak because he saw a shoe and doesn't know if it's attached to anything?
Yeah, sure. I'll take that. I actually want you to get into the van, so yeah.
Yeah.
Roll sneak.
One success.
Okay.
I'm gonna take Poe's lead and try and stealth my way Sam Fisher up that rope.
You see him because it's the bumper, right? So we pulled the bumper down. You see him like hop on, and then the bumper's like it like squeaks a little bit, and he just crouches, and he's doing this like weird crouchy like duck walk up this thing to try to be as small as tiny humanly possible.
Hey, next time I break into a place in order to get the damning evidence on some person, I'm taking him with.
Yeah, that's why I
Lowering
keep
your
getting-
center of gravity is a thing for
That's why I keep getting arrested for breaking into,
14.
for breaking into places.
You do know my dad is a lawyer.
I'm 14.
All right, Reno, make your roll.
He'll get you out.
Reno's just thinking to himself, there's no way I can climb this.
My grand just hits the
Well,
cop with a cane.
it's low enough that you can like you're not like hand over handing it. You're climbing on. And
Come on,
No
Reno,
way
you
he
can
could
do
be
it.
quiet about it either.
they're just trying to BS their way to give their better stat. Would you like to push that?
No.
Okay.
He's
What
not
can I
even
do to
bothering
try
to
and
be
help?
quiet about it.
Yeah, you both made it. You didn't roll more than one success, but since you both made it, I'll let you guys reach a hand out, and you both grab either side of like his shirt, and pull him up.
Hey, don't tear the shirt. It's a nice shirt.
Buy you a new one.
You can.
It's limited edition. You can't.
Oh, believe me, I can.
Squeak, squeak.
Okay,
squeak,
David,
Squeak.
it is your turn.
So
This-
David
you-
is going to try to use the bumper as a bit of a catapult. So he will kind of put 1 foot onto there and kind of then use that to boost himself up. And as his weight lifts off the bumper, hopefully the bumper will start to come back up as well. And then he'll try to use that to catapult himself up.
Okay, I like the sound of that. You can roll. This is definitely a move, and you can roll a +1. Yeah, nice. All right, so as you guys are like duck walking forward, like it's a and
We
you
took
guys,
the stairs, and this guy got the elevator.
yeah, you guys kind of look back, and then you see David come kind of flying up over the side, and then like he lands on the
Like
thing.
it. Superhero pose.
Superhero landing.
Yeah.
What,
Yeah.
Nice.
what took you guys so long?
We got here before you.
We took the stairs.
I didn't know that was.
Stairs
an
are for
option.
chumps.
Right, so you guys make it
Yes,
up the.
they need to make more Ford Econo lines with an elevator.
I'm not allowed to do advanced aerials.
The only thing you're allowed to do is exist, Edgar.
Yeah.
He does weird conspiracy stuff all the time. If that's not more than existing.
You're allowed to do it.
No, I'm allowed to do that. My gran taught me how to
Really?
do that. Yeah. My gran encourages it.
Yeah, it's a conversation for another time.
She
Yes,
also has
when
a
we're
journal.
rebigrified.
Yes. Also, I saw a shoe up here. It might be attached to a man.
Sorry, your grandmother also does what?
What?
What does your
What?
grandmother do?
She. Don't worry about it.
Mm.
She
Catch
also.
it on the VOD.
Another time.
Undefined backstory.
Watch it on YouTube and slow down when I mumble what my grandma does.
Mumble is what she does.
Yeah.
She's not a great public speaker.
Those crystals aren't just for fancy looks. She's also a wizard. He's gonna climb up onto the actual like back part of the van here. Is there a man attached to that shoe, G?
Oh, so you're gonna look inside the van?
Yeah,
are
he
you?
climbs right in.
Okay. Usually I'd have you roll for this, but I've been having you guys roll a lot today. So you climb across and into the van.
He's still
You
sneaking.
Right, yeah.
That's fine.
Let's
Uh,
investigate this thing.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Everyone roll investigate. I take back what I said. Ooh. Nice, nice.
Successes all around.
Very good.
Nope.
Almost successes all around.
Yep.
Almost. 50%.
Freddie and Poe succeed.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, so you guys make it inside the van. The first thing you see, it's glaringly right in front of you, is a large, what could be described as a ray gun. It is a polished metallic silver object. It's about the size, probably, it's bigger than a chainsaw, probably smaller than a leaf blower. But it's big to you because you're only 4 inches tall. And it is lying on the floor of the van, pointing the barrel pointing out of the van.
Does it look
How
very
are we going to
presidential?
trigger this thing?
Sorry, what?
I said, does it look very presidential?
It looks like something you've never seen before.
You know, like President Reagan.
That's an American joke.
President Reagan is the president at the time.
Okay.
You're now
I'll be here all
welcome to
week.
kill us with
Yes,
an
sir.
asteroid, G.
Yeah,
after
you
that.
can hit us with an asteroid now. That's it.
The funny thing is, I know of a game Easter egg where you have to find and talk to a guy named Ronald Reagan.
That's awesome.
So,
Oh, God.
Love it. Love it.
Okay, so that's the first thing you see because it's literally right in front of your face as you jump across the gap. The barrel of the ray gun is like right in your face.
Okay, so someone try and enter Konami code in that thing, but how are we going to get all of us big at once? Because I don't know how this thing works. It may only have one charge left in it.
Well, behind the ray gun, crumpled on the floor, are the two men that you saw fighting each other. They are unconscious, big bumps on their heads. They appear to be breathing. They're crumpled and tangled in each other's arms. One is a short guy, scruffy hair. The other guy's clean shaven, also kind of short. Younger.
Reno,
other guy.
do you think you could jigger the rebigger fire?
if I knew what it did.
Well, I think it's kind of in the name there.
Yeah, just reverse the polarities of the neutron flow and you've got it.
Well, unless one of you can point out me an instruction manual, to me this could be alien technology. I'd have to sit here, take it apart, and rebuild it if I'm going to figure out how to change anything.
What?
And I don't think we have that option.
Could you guess?
You guys take a look around
I'll give it a shot.
along the floor of the van. You see paperwork, notepads, and a journal strewn all over the place.
Could you set it to big?
Reno's going to ignore literally everybody, and he's going to walk around and just try to figure out all this text and see if he can find anything related to this big old
I went
device.
for about 5'6" because then my clothes would fit. Well, I'd hate to wear my dad's trousers. It wouldn't work with the rest of this look.
Will you shut up? I'm trying to focus.
Poe is gonna look at the Ronald Reagan and find the big switch. There's
yeah,
gotta
Do
be
button.
there's
there
gotta
is
be a small to big switch, obviously.
Yeah, as Reno kind of jogs his way over to the paperwork that's strewn all over the place because of the erratic driving. You walk over and you see there's a few buttons actually. You see a power button, and they're all labeled power, recon, calibrate, and reset. Oh, and there's 5. And then underneath you see a big red button that says purge on it.
Does it also have a label on the front that says front to enemy?
No.
Should do.
So
Prototype.
Reno, there's a journal and there's notepads. What would you like to do first?
I would like to look at the notepads first.
Okay. Roll comprehend. Would you like to push it?
I will use a lock.
Oh, perfect.
Oh.
Or not.
Oh.
Would you like to push that?
No,
Okay.
I am.
So
It's all. I know more about aircraft engineering than space science wizardry.
It's all
Like,
Greek
to
to
me, it's
you,
all
and luckily your
freaking
boy reads Latin.
Italian.
Yeah. Pretty much, it's all Greek to you, and lucky your boy reads Italian.
Yes.
Mate, you've got the old schematic here upside down. It's...
all right, so
You
this
pull
is
that
a-
lever, you hit that button, 5-second delay, we're big boys again.
except it doesn't really seem to be the information that you're gathering from these notes. On the top of the journal of the notepad, it says 0-point ERB generator. It is
Oh my
a
God, it's a 0-point module.
It is a
Same for Rodney
prototype.
McKay.
It is a prototype. And from what else you can gather with your 2 successes, it breaks down the target on the molecular level and stores them temporarily in the device. They can be reconstituted by the user at any point.
It's a transporter, like in Star Trek. I know, Poe, you've not seen it.
I've
Guys,
never seen
you've
it.
seen it, right?
Yeah.
Another note you notice here is that it's only ever been used on inanimate objects.
Oh, great. It's only been used on inanimate objects before and never people. With a few first human tests. Yay! Call the Guinness Book of Records.
Oh, jeez. So, Freddy, you understand what that means is the device had a unintended consequence when it went off accidentally.
It's like Poe and I theorized. It was for making cargo really small so you can ship it USPS, then make it big again at the other end and save a fortune.
But it stores it in the one device.
My theory.
How many millions of devices would you need to make?
Yeah, it's a prototype. It's clearly not functioning yet.
That sounds too expensive.
Depends what you want to ship. Atomic bombs to Moscow?
Well, I can see government work.
The government had plenty of money.
Yes.
While this argument is happening, and David is doing whatever David's doing, you see Poe in the background who has his hands on the barrel of this thing, and he's pushing it to face out of the truck, and then he runs around the other side. He hits the power button, and then he looks at the rest of the buttons. You said there was purge, reset.
Hold on. Power, recon, calibrate, reset, purge. And the purge button is red. The power button is green. The others are just gray.
Is it recon? What was so power, recon,
calibrate, reset.
He points it out the back of the truck, so making sure like no one's in front of it. And he hits the power button with two hands, and then he walks over and he hits the recon button with two hands, just to see what happens.
Okay.
I think you need to hold down recon and reset, but you know.
The gun starts making weird noises, like because it sounds a little different now that you guys are standing right next to it. Your hair kind of rises up. And
wait, what are you guys doing?
And then bazaar! And then it shoots out into the street, and nothing happens. Same green light that you saw, but nothing happens.
Can I investigate this? See if I can get any more data.
Okay, who wants
what
to
are you
be
investigating?
The
The paperwork or the the paperwork? Or
investigate the effect.
It didn't have an effect. It just made a laser beam.
2.
Yeah.
Again.
2 successes?
Let's keep those up. Yeah.
Reno's going to turn to David. Hey, David, do you mind kicking those two scientists awake, or at least one of them?
Won't they probably take us or do something with us? They're quite big.
Yeah, they could put them in. They could put us in their breast pockets.
They
Maybe
are
tie
quite
them up
big.
first.
Oh my God, David, you're a genius! And he runs to the front of the barrel again and pushes it towards one of the unconscious scientists, and then runs back to the end and hits power, and then hits. I
swear to God, if he hits purge.
I was thinking about it.
He,
I thought about it. He points it towards them and hits recon as he's pointing towards one of the scientists.
Sure. Which one? There's the scruffy short guy or the clean-shaven younger guy.
Which one shot us?
You can't tell because
Okay.
they were fighting.
So the scruffy short guy.
Okay. Okay.
Anyone that clean shaven is a cop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the wave blasts over him, and then you see a short little
I found the shrink button.
guy.
Is he
Now I'm
tinier
doing
than us now?
No, he's 4 inches tall. He's the same size, but applicable to an adult.
Dave, you want to slap him around a bit?
Unless any of you are tall for your age, like you've hit puberty, so you might be just as tall as he is.
Freddy's 5. Freddy's like
wait,
5'6".
wait.
Can we kick him awake now?
Wait, they don't. Wait, hold on. So, from what I understand, I overheard this at Freddy's house. they only have certain crimes for certain people, right? Like if you're this old, you can only do these many. Like it's only a crime if this. And I don't think they have crimes for 14-year-old 4-inch people. So
there's no courts. There's
right.
no really tiny.
There's
court.
no tiny courts. So nobody. So nobody move. I have one more idea, and I can only try this once. He keeps the gun pointed.
There are no tiny
He keeps the gun pointed at the now shrunken, short, scruffy guy. He hits power again, and then he hits reset.
I'm thinking that for a second.
I have a bad feeling about this, Edgar.
This only works once.
Yeah. So it shoots off, and it encompasses him. And also, when he shrunk, the guy other guy collapsed because obviously there's no one there holding him up.
Mm-hmm.
So if you shoot the short guy, he or the small guy, he reconstitutes himself, and anyone standing in the vicinity,
Rebigrifier.
I'm a scientist.
He's rebigified.
I did it. I figured it out.
Right. Can we throw something at the button whilst we stand the other side and all get big?
No, it's why don't you? I just shoot you guys with the rebigrifier ray, and then when you're big, you point it at me, and if the gun doesn't explode, it's not like it goes away. Right?
Fine, you first.
Me first as the bigger.
And Reno's
Okay.
Reno's gonna turn the gun back out towards the rear of the van, and he's gonna stick Edgar right in front of.
He runs towards the edge of the van.
To hit power and then hit reset.
As you're running towards the edge of the van?
Yeah.
Poe? Okay. So as you're running, I don't know if you want to do this, but I have a feeling this is what you would like to do. As you're running towards the edge, and like you're and you get to the edge, you leap, and then just as the beam goes off, so as you're midair, you're and then you go, and you are full size again.
Yeah, it's hard to stand up in a van. You don't want to hit your head on the ceiling. That's just rude.
Yeah.
It works.
You're not
As your
6'5",
voice
right, dude?
echoes through the
You're not too big. You're not 6'5". Squeaks a little voice. He's like tiny Listerine Red Dwarf.
What?
Superhuman man plus.
What?
Yeah, you hear, which could just be how he talks.
The adults from Peanuts.
I don't know what he's. I don't know what you're saying. Sing.
A big fool.
Yeah,
You've
he's
got
shouting
big
at
ears.
you,
Let's
and
use them.
he's very
All
loud.
right, David, your
What?
turn.
What? He
You're muted. So.
Poe walks back over and like picks up. You just see it like the slow motion. He picks up the gun. Come on, guys! Come on! And he like puts his hand down so you can all climb onto his hand.
It's like Ant-Man in Avengers. Like, let's go, guys.
Yep. Yeah, he puts a hand down so you can all climb on the magic school bus.
Yep.
Mhm.
And then he'll deposit you out
And
of
then you chuck him.
Yeah. I'm the hero of the story. No, he puts them down, and he looks down at the side of the van, and he picks up a tiny skateboard and a tiny skateboard and a tiny scooter, and then he quickly walks across the street, picks up a tiny bicycle, and brings it back to them, and then he just like points it at them and hits power reset.
Perfect. And then the green light shoots out, and you guys feel that tingly wave come through you. But actually, it feels like it's going in reverse this time. And so instead of going, whoosh, it's like pulling you backwards, and then you guys all pop back into normal form
Good
with your
times.
bikes right next to you.
Are we?
So Freddy's going to take his skateboard and go into the van and take those dudes' wallets.
Don't forget Wadsworth.
He's from the streets.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, right. Odds
Yeah, let's go increase the butler, but I've got these guys' wallets first.
I was so hoping you would forget Wadsworth.
Tiny butler.
I was actually kind of thinking, like, at the end, it's like at the hideout. Do you think we forget something? No, I don't think so. Cuts to Wadsworth sitting in a van in the middle of the night.
Oh no.
I have
I
one.
need-
I have one better for you guys. Gee, you said that in the street there were trash cans, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like back at like people's trash cans.
Yeah. Poe's gonna move over to one of the trash cans and open it and like root around and try to find a soda bottle.
Yeah. You're not shooting them.
Shooting who?
I don't know what your plan is.
Maybe get a ball of twine.
Gee,
Maybe get a small ball of twine and make it huge, and it can be a tourist attraction.
No. He takes the soda bottle, this like 2-liter bottle of Coke. Freddie, you had a pocket
They
knife?
were glass. It's the 80s.
Not the 2-liter ones, only the handheld ones. You said you had a pocket knife?
Yeah.
Can I see that real quick? I have a
Yeah,
really
he hands him
cool
the
idea.
Swiss Army knife.
And he like stabs it and like cuts open the top, like the cone part of it, so it's just like an open tube. And then he takes the Ronald Ray gun that's still in his hand, and he shoots the two men in powder blue, and then he picks them up and puts them inside the Coke bottle.
Oh dear, we're kidnapping now.
And he gives it a little jostle until they wake up.
Okay. And what are you holding on to them?
Yeah, he's keeping them.
And are you keeping the ray gun as well?
Yeah, why not? Why wouldn't we keep a ray gun? How cool is a ray?
Freddy's gonna pocket all of
Reno
the
grabs the
info
ray
about
gun
it.
out of Edgar's hand forcefully.
What are you doing?
Yes.
Be like, I don't trust you with this.
Yeah, so now that you're holding it, it's like you're like holding a leaf blower. Like it's pretty sizable.
Yeah. Make sure the safety's on that thing.
And there wasn't a safety.
He's
You
kind
just
of
hit the power
expecting
button.
it.
How
Stuff like that.
irresponsible
He's,
is that?
he's inspecting it because his father's ex-military and actually taught him how to use a weapon.
Hey, you and me both.
There is
Freddy's
no
dad was in Korea.
There is nothing on it that says safety.
Yeah, how stupid is that?
Just hit
It's
the-
like Colt didn't build the 1911 without a safety.
All right,
You just gotta hit the power button.
do we know? David, you said something about the limo. Do we know where that is?
Yes, let's fix the limo. Is there a restore button on that?
Do you know how to
Isn't
use
that
it?
what he just used?
Yeah, you just hit power and reset.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping it restores the radiator and the bumper.
Of the
And the tire. And the
I don't
Or-
think we can do
All the
that.
dudes
I
I
think it's
have the
still broken.
wallets of are. I hate to say what might happen to them.
Let's just go get the limo big again, and we'll figure it out from there.
Yeah.
Mhm. Let's go get the limo big again, and so we don't have to go and shrink a tow truck.
But before they go, David reaches down to the key that was on the bumper and just throws it very obviously into the back of the van.
Nice.
My man, quite contradictory evidence.
Actually,
David a troublemaker?
As Reno
No,
sees
he's
that,
not.
he
He's
looks
not a
at Davis
troublemaker.
and shakes his head, saying, "Don't do that."
Why?
It's done.
Hey,
Well,
I was gonna
key
key the van with those keys and leave them there.
I'll
Well, you're trying
say
to blame
that
people for stealing this, I guess, but I was thinking just there's a purge button here. I wonder what happens.
Go for it. I mean, it's like David and I from the streets, you know.
Reno
it's how
is
we act.
going to aim the ray gun at the van, and he's going to hit power, and he's going to hit purge.
Wait, was there a driver?
there was nothing happened.
Too late.
Too
wasn't
late! Anarchy!
Yeah. Too late. Third corruption part. No, I'm just kidding. No, that nothing happens when you hit the purge button. Well, you might hear a sound. You hear a sound, but nothing comes out of the.
Yeah, it's like sad, bro.
No, it's not. It's not a power down. It's more like I don't know. It's like error.
Error.
Yeah.
Unknown
I guess
input.
that one doesn't work yet.
If you want to look, do an investigate. Actually, no, you're freaking holding the damn thing. You look at it and you see there's like at the back there's like kind of a little like it looks like one of those Ghostbuster spook holder things, right?
There's
It's
like
a
a
rectangle.
Gauge.
Yeah, and then there's a small little screen and it just says nil on it in red.
We still good for power on that Kajigga?
I think it might not be power. What did those notes say? Something about it stores stuff?
Ah.
There might
It's
maybe
got nothing in
purges
the
when
memory.
you maybe it's the purge button releases whatever's stored.
Yeah. Okay, it's got nothing in the memory, so
Wait a minute.
it'll have the
Then-
limo and my butler in the memory.
He actually does it again, and then he hits recon, pointing at the van.
Nothing happens.
Boo. If it stores
Come
things, someone
on,
maybe could store a van.
Let's head back round the corner at big people speed.
Why don't you get
Why
all
don't you
the
mess about?
Why don't you get all the paperwork out of the van?
I've got it.
Oh, great.
You do
Fair enough.
have a journal if you want to take a look at that.
Freddy sort of stuffed all that in his pockets. Has anybody got a bag? I left mine in the limo.
I have a backpack.
There you go.
All right. Well, Reno's gonna go look for the limo and try to make it big again while they're doing all that.
Yeah,
Let's make Wadsworth bigger, and remember to give him a bigger tip at Christmas. I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
as you
Bonus.
approach, you hear, "Oh no," coming from. And then
He's
you
gonna pick up the little tiny limo. He's gonna make sure there's no cars coming. He's gonna put in the little street. He's gonna walk back, give it a little bit of distance, and aim.
yeah, you press power and you press
He's gonna go through the whole
recon.
process.
Did you put
I
it
hit
really
reset.
close to that spun out van? Because then we can make it look like they caused the accident.
He presses the button, and you have a full-size Rolls-Royce limousine
And butler.
with
Most
and a
important.
butler sitting there with the flask of tea and crumbs all down his thing. And, like his eyes are like wide.
Let's get this guy home and get some crumpets into him. That fixes British people.
Yeah, the front end of the car is completely not like it's not like crunched in, but like both tires are like this,
Yeah.
and
The
you're not-
axle's done in, the radiator's probably taken a hit.
Yeah.
Okay. Freddy gets the car phone out and calls the tow service that his parents probably own.
Yeah, so as you pick up, you grab the car phone out and you make your call to your parents. The camera pulls away, but we don't go very far. We come back. Oh, there was something I forgot to have you guys see. Too late for that. Oh well. The camera kind of pans away and then turns and comes right back down. And the camera zooms out from the spinning wheels of bikes as we see those rival kids riding away from the scene. The peppy 80s music that was playing before shifts kind of off key and kind of goes quiet. They are doing their regular shit talking for a bunch of bullies, shit talking each other, shit talking some other kid they bullied earlier to get his lunch money. And then as they're cycling, there is a loud screeching tires and a engine roar as a sky blue panel van speeds past them. He swerves, losing the ability to talk. Swerves in front of them and stops, causing them to have to stop suddenly. So they hit their brakes and they kind of slide off. And when they stop, the side door of the truck opens and 4 people jump out. It's like, hey, what's going on? Hey, what the hell, man? And then these people in these work shirts run and they grab these 4 kids. Are these the ones? Yeah, of course they are. Look at them. They match the description. Let's go. And they grab the kids off their bikes and they're like, hey, let's go. Let me go. Blah, you fuckers. Blah, you ass blah, blah. And they and as they're sliding the kids into the van and they close the door, you hear tests need to be, and they're cut off as the door closes. And the dark van leaves the 4 bikes in the middle of the street as it speeds in the direction of the large cooling towers of the loop. And that is where we end this episode.
Hot damn. They were impersonating us.
On purpose.
Makes a mental note that next time we go to the hideout in Reno's section of the hideout, there's going to be a partially disassembled ray gun.
Which is awful because that means you just left these 2 adult men tiny forever.
Yeah.
He's gonna be very
Yeah.
careful about it.
I also just see like a scene where like before the camera pans up where you have
And he's
like,
got Edgar's got like a little hamster house with the
Yeah.
two men.
well he
They're
has
on a little wheel.
so Poe has a pet rat. So he has a rat house and how enclosement. But I just imagine like you have Freddy is like holding onto the car phone with the big spiral cord, pacing, talking. You have Reno looking at the thing. You have David just sort of by himself, just hanging out. And then on the front of the car is Poe with the half Coke bottle and the rat who he's like attack mode. And the rat's like hackles around and he's like, "Where is the loop? What's going on?" And it's just banging on the hood, trying to interrogate the tiny men.
Oh, I thought the rat was going to become the new prison warden.
He is. Yeah, he's gonna put the two men inside the cage, and Nicodemus the rat is gonna be in there.
I feel bad for these two guys.
Or
that's
the
for sure.
Nicodemus for future reference.
Yeah.
I will say for everyone here, because everyone hung around and spent their afternoon with us. One thing that I mentioned that I forgot to mention is that inside the truck there was a security camera, but it was off and it was supposed to be like off and like kind of to the side. But then as you were leaving and reconstituting everybody, one of you was going to notice that the camera was looking directly at you, and then there was a red light blinking.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I like it. Cool. That's it. That's all we got today, guys.
Evidence for our lawsuit.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go around, do our introductions. We're going to get out of here, do our after show. If you guys want access to the after show, it's exclusive up on our Patreon. It'll be there in the next day or so. So definitely go check that out. But for now, let's do our outros. Get the hell out of here. We will start with Matt. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
I'm Matt, known as D, playing Reno C. Osborne for this one shot. And you can find me on Mike's Discord, around Twitch TV, around the place. And that's about it.
Hell yeah. El Profo, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
Usually I'm El Profo in all the places, but apparently on Instagram I have to be another form of El Profo. Did I have an Instagram account I've forgotten about? Who knows? That is the real mystery tonight. But yeah, otherwise, El Profo in all the places. Supposed to be writing, probably looking for new jobs.
Perfect. Norm, who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
I'm Snow, aka Norm. You can just find me in Discord, and tomorrow at some time for the campaign.
4 p.m. Eastern.
4 p.m. Eastern.
I know, we
The
had this
only
huge
person who
thing.
didn't know that was G.
Don't even at me right now.
We adding you.
Not
And-
1 p.m. that I tweeted out like 2 weeks ago.
And last but not least, G, who can't tell time. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
You could find me here for all the Patreon games. You can find me in the Discord for unMadeGaming. You can find me on Twitter, LightningSpaz09, and modding for Nomadic, for Gnome Brew during the week.
And what time tomorrow?
4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 3 p.m. Central, 1 o'clock.
Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific.
1 o'clock Pacific.
Yep, perfect.
For
And
all
some-
you East Coasters.
and
or West
sometime
Coasters.
Monday morning in Australia.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we are out of here. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching these shows, all the tips that came through, all the corruption bars. But for now, we will see you guys later. So from all of us to you guys, bye-bye.